going on, Madden World? I'm King Vitamin, and with me I got the OG Chris Murray, and this is The Recap, a new show here on the DML Network, and one of many great shows we have here at the DML Network. Today, we're going to be recapping the players of the week from each conference for weeks 1 through 8. I'll be highlighting the NFC, and Chris will be highlighting the AFC. And with that being said, OG, you got anything you want to say to the Madden World?
Man, welcome to the recap, baby. When we talk about the most dominant players from week 1 through week 8, well, all the way to the week we have right now. It means teams that just flat out show why they should be AFC, NFC offense/defensive player of the week. Man, I'm ready to dive into these picks.
Let's go. All right, starting with week 1, NFC offensive player of the week goes to QB Russell Wilson, Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson went 17 for 18, 270 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He had 1 pick, and he was sacked twice, but he had 1 carry for 6 rushing yards for 1 TD. And the Seahawks beat the Denver Broncos 29-10 in week 1, and Russell Wilson is your NFC week 1 player of the week.
Coming in for the AFC offensive player of the week, we have Blake Bortles, the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He went for 15 for 23, 283 yards passing, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 carry for 10 rushing yards. The number one thing that stands out for Blake Bortles in this week 1 matchup was no interception, which I know expert was glad to see and probably is looking back on down memory lane, questioning himself, asking where is this Blake Bortles at now?
That's right. So, week 1 defensive player of the week from the NFC is Chandler Jones, Arizona Cardinals. Chandler Jones had 5 tackles and 4 sacks and 1 forced fumble. Yo, anytime you can get 4 sacks in the game, man, your team is pretty much guaranteed to win, man. So Chandler Jones led his team to a 29-3 victory over the Redskins in week 1.
Coming in for the AFC defensive player of the week is Emmanuel Ogba. This guy is close to my heart because he plays for my Cleveland Browns. He was just a force to be reckoned with on the defensive side of the ball, and the Pittsburgh Steelers did not have no type of answer for him. And he's the reason why we were able to lock in our week 1 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, another guy with 4 sacks in week 1. Okay, on to week 2. NFC player of the week, quarterback Mitchell Trubisky of the Chicago Bears. Trubisky went 17 for 22, 255 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. He did have 1 carry for 5 rushing yards. So Mitchell Trubisky, NFC player of the week, week 2, Chicago Bears.
Coming in for the AFC, we have Mr. Tyreek Hill, Deuces himself, Speedy Gonzalez, Usain Bolt on the football field, went off for 9 receptions, 204 receiving yards, averaged a total of 22.7 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 carry for -1 rushing yard. This guy is not a surprise that we've seen him early off as the AFC Offensive Player of the Week, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking about this man many more times later on in the show.
That's right. So, on to the week 2 defensive player of the week from the NFC. We got Deion Buchanan, Arizona Cardinals. 6 tackles and 2 interceptions. Now, that's not a real big stat line right there, but he did have 2 picks, and they lost, by the way, that week to the LA Rams, which is my team, by the way. So there you go, Deion Buchanan, player of the week, NFC week 2.
All right, on the AFC side, we have Old Daniel, middle linebacker of the Kansas City Chiefs. It's surprising, man, to see we got 2 Kansas City Chiefs players as offense and defense. But this guy, man, went completely mayhem. 8 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and also a 1 touchdown. Come on, man. There's no reason, no brainer why this guy, man, is the AFC defensive player of the week. So I'm pretty sure, KP was loving that XP love that he got for both of these guys for winning these awards, man.
Yeah, that's right, man. Yo, big deal right there. Okay, on to week 3, NFC Offensive Player of the Week, Ezekiel Elliott, Dallas Cowboys. 23 carries, 279 rushing yards. Man, 12.1 rush average, 2 rushing touchdowns, 3 receptions for 45 yards, a 15 receiving average, and 1 receiving TD. Man, that's a big game right there for Zeke, man.
Moving on to the AFC Offensive Player of the Week, we have Lamar Jackson, Mr. Whole Lot of Play Action. This also is another player, man, that I'm pretty sure that we're going to talk about in multiple slots down on in the show. But Mr. Lamar Jackson went off for a total of 5 for 12, 217 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown. He did have 1 interception and got sacked 3 times. But this is the thing right here what we come to expect from Mr. Lamar early on in his career. 15 carries for 70 rushing yards, 4 rushing touchdowns at the quarterback position. 4. And he also had 1 fumble. Man, Mr. Lamar Jackson, a whole lot of play action. He's stamping his name on a DML very, 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 very bright and early. This is going to be a guy that's going to be around and causing trouble for a lot of defenses, man.
Yeah, you got to watch that man right there. That's real tough. All right. On to week 3, Defensive Player of the Week from the NFC. The Cowboys doubled down, man. Awuzie, the cornerback from the Dallas Cowboys, 4 tackles and 3 interceptions, man. So there go those turnovers again, man. Anytime you can get picks like that, 3 picks per game, going to put you in a good position to win, man. And the Cowboys win 24-21 over the Seattle Seahawks.
On the AFC side, defensive player, we had Boye, position cornerback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, this is a no-brainer how stacked that defense is. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a bunch of more players in the weeks up to come. He went off for 3 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 2 pick sixes. This is a guy that will make you pay for your mistakes if you throw the ball to his side. Or to his side, you're telling you, he's a lockdown corner that just flat out gives any quarterback in the DML pretty much, man, a tough going every time. You throw the ball to his side, but it's no better because if you throw the ball over to the other side of the field, you have Ramsey over there. So this is a guy that showed why he definitely should have been AFC Defensive Player of Week 3.
Absolutely, man. All right, on to week 4. We got from the NFC Offensive Player of the Week, Alvin Kamara, New Orleans Saints. Yo, this guy had 15 carries for 115 rushing yards, a 7.7 rush average, 2 rushing touchdowns, 3 receptions for 48 receiving yards with a 16 reception average, man. And I had to play against him the other night, man. And I'm telling you, I spotlighted Kamara every play, man. The dude is tough. He can do everything, man. He can run it. He can catch it, you know. So, congrats to him on winning the NFC Offensive Player of the Week for Week 4.
On the AFC side, we have Williams, the halfback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Dang, man. Anybody else in the AFC going to win anything? Jeez, we got 2 Chiefs players already. But this guy went off. He showed why he was the AFC Offensive Player of Week 4. 11 carries for 108 yards rushing, averaged a total of damn near 10 yards per rush, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 receptions, 11 reception yards. And he averaged, off of those reception yards, averaged a total of pretty much 6 yards per reception. And he also had 1 reception touchdown. So this guy showed that he's a dual down back. He can run the ball. He also can catch the ball coming out of the backfield, man. Game plan for this guy, y'all. Game plan for him.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. On to the defensive player from the NFC, Week 4. We got strong safety, Rudy Ford from the Arizona Cardinals. This guy had 4 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown. I'm noticing, man, that the Cardinals, man, they pretty much been in every week so far, kind of like those Chiefs, man. So East ATL is making some noise out there, man. Yeah, I think we got to watch them Cardinals because, you know, he's in my division, man. And I played him earlier, and it was a tough game, but got to keep an eye on this guy.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely seeing some bright spots on that defensive side of the ball. But moving on to the AFC defensive player, we have Griffith, right outside linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals. Went off 6 tackles, 3 interceptions. This right here, I think he got this off of the 3 interceptions. But anytime a linebacker gets 3 picks, you know they're going to definitely be front runner for AFC or NFC defensive player. But this right here, I can't argue with this pick, man. But, you know, it's definitely a lot of guys that definitely had a lot I want to say a more explosive game, but like I just said, if it's a linebacker, anytime a linebacker has 3 picks or more, they're definitely gonna be front runner for defensive player of the week.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. All right, on to week 5. NFC Offensive Player of the Week. My man, who's hurt right now, by the way, Todd Gurley. I mean, I can't catch a break with these running backs on Mad Man. But, yo, Todd Gurley went off, man. He had 23 carries, 160 rushing yards, averaging 7 yards per carry, 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 receptions for 42 yards with a 14 reception average, man. And, yeah, that was actually a real good game right there. We played the Seahawks, man, and got a 40-7 victory over them. So that's my man Todd Gurley. That's right. Offensive Player of the Week, NFC, Week 5.
All right, we got AFC Offensive Player of the Week. We got Derrick Henry. 2 running backs, man. That put up some crazy numbers.
That's right. That's right.
Derrick Henry went off, man. 17 carries, 137 yards rushing, 8 rushing yards averaged. That takes a lot of pressure off of any quarterback in the DML. I'm telling you that right now. When you're running back can average 8 yards per rush, 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 reception, 2 reception yards. This guy right here showed that he's a power back, man. And I'm pretty sure a lot of them defensive linemen, linebackers, safeties, cornerbacks felt his power, man.
That's right. That's right. That's right, man. So, yeah, on to Week 5, the Defensive Player of the Week from the NFC is a guy that I have never heard of. His name is Blake Martinez from the Green Bay Packers, no disrespect. But he had 5 tackles and 2 interceptions, man. Not a real crazy stat line right there. And, they lost, by the way, to the Detroit Lions 26-20. So I guess it was one of those games where nobody really went off. So you know how that goes. They'll just give it to the guy who had 2 picks or something like that. But that's Blake Martinez, NFC Defensive Player of the Week, Week 5.
Yeah, moving on to the AFC Defensive Player. There's also a player I never heard of, Desir. Cornerback position for the Colts. Pretty much like you just said, man. His stats is not impressive, but he had 3 picks and 1 touchdown. So whenever you get a defensive score, I'm pretty sure, like I just said in the last card, if you get 3 interceptions or more and a touchdown, you're gonna be a front runner for AFC or NFC Defensive Player of the Week. But this is a guy that I never heard of in the DML, but he managed to make it onto the recap and as AFC Defensive Player of the Week. So tip my head off to him.
And watch out for that guy right there, man. Them guys you never heard of before. All right, man. On to Week 6. Week 6, NFC Offensive Player of the Week is Christian McCaffrey, halfback, Carolina Panthers. 12 carries, 104 rushing yards, 8.7 average rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 receptions, 29 receiving yards with a 14.5 receiving average. And, he's just one of those other guys. He can do it all, too. Catch it out the backfield, kill you, run it, kill you. You got to keep an eye on a guy like that. Anytime you playing against him, you got a spot like that guy. So there you go. Christian McCaffrey, Defensive Player of the Week, NFC, Week 6.
AFC Offensive Player of the Week, we got Mr. Deshaun Watson, quarterback of the Houston Texans. 12 for 13, 278 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 carries for 7 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown. This is also a dual threat quarterback, just like Mr. Lamar Jackson. He can pass the ball, but he's also more dangerous with his feet if he's given a chance to take off. So moving forward, I'm telling guys, we got the Houston Texans on your card this week, next week, whatever. I'm telling you, game plan, and you're going to have somebody spying against this guy all the time, or he will kill you with his feet just as much as with his arm.
Yeah, definitely, man. All right, so Week 6 Defensive Player of the Week from the NFC is Kamul Kruger-Hill, Philadelphia Eagles. 7 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception, and a forced fumble. So he pretty much had the trifecta. He had the sack, the interception, and the fumble. Eagles win 32-13 over the Giants. So congrats to him. NFC Defensive Player of the Week, Week 7, Kruger-Hill.
We got Mr. AFC Defensive Player of the Week. We got Mr. Miles Jack, middle linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars. this is no surprise. Like I said when we mentioned Boye, this defense is so stacked. I'm not shocked that we see one of their players as the front runner every single week. You got 10 tackles, 2 interceptions from Miles Jack. He's one of those guys that you have to find on the defensive side of the field once you get up to your line. I'm telling you that right now because he will pop out on the blitz. He will drop back in coverage. He's that hybrid middle linebacker could do pretty much everything. So I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing him again making an appearance on the AFC side as the defensive player of the week.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He's hurt right now, by the way, so I know Expert can't wait to get him back on the field, man. All right, moving on to Week 7, NFC Offensive Player of the Week, quarterback. Never heard of the guy. I'm sorry. Josh Rosen, Arizona Cardinals. Maybe he's a rookie, man. I don't know. But, anyway, this man went 12 for 15, 359 passing yards, 5 touchdowns. He was sacked twice and had 2 carries for 14 rushing yards. Okay, I know this man now. He's in my division, so I better start paying attention, man. This guy went completely nuts, man, and he deserves to be the player of the week, NFC Week 7.
Yeah, he went off. We got AFC Offensive Player of the Week. We got Phillip Rivers. His stats does not compare to nothing like Rosen's, but he definitely lit it up. He went 17 for 26, 287 yards passing, 4 passing touchdowns. He did throw 1 interception, was sacked 3 times. He had 1 carry for 10 rushing yards. This is a guy, man, that's going to come out and he's going to flat out control the game. He's going to make the correct reads. He's not going to force the ball. He's going to come out and pretty much control the game. If you do not get after him quick enough, he's going to pick your defense apart. Because I played against this guy. He made a amazing throw to Williams to take the lead late in the fourth quarter. So he's a guy, man, that if you give him the time, he will pick you apart.
Yeah, man. Amazing quarterback, man. Great veteran right there, Phillip Rivers. All right, man. On to Week 7, NFC Defensive Player of the Week. This guy needs no introduction. Khalil Mack, the sack attack. 10 tackles, 4 sacks, and I ain't got nothing else to say.
Moving on to the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, we have Clowney now. Usually, like you just mentioned, Khalil Mack. He probably would have been on here for his sacks, but he's actually on here because he's at the middle linebacker position. The defensive coordinator figured that he would be a better fit versus put him on the line to actually put him, in the center of the field. And this guy straight showed why the defensive coordinator made that play. Man, pretty much made that move. 7 tackles, 1 sack, 6 interceptions.
My goodness. Wow.
This pretty much 6 interceptions is pretty much someone's whole season.
Yeah, man.
Like this guy got 6 interceptions in 1 game, and he also had 1 for a pick 6. So, wow. we don't even need to spend no time on this. We know why he got that award. So shout out to SJ, man. You throwing things right out there in Houston.
Yeah, SJ, you nasty for that one, man. You real nasty for that. All right, man. Moving on to the final week of the recap. NFC Offensive Player of the Week, running back David Johnson, Arizona Cardinals. This is a grown man right here. 18 carries, 130 rushing yards, a 7.2 rush average, 2 rushing TDs, and 3 receptions for 14 receiving yards and a 4.7 receiving yard average. And the Arizona Cardinals, they got a 27-24 win over the 49ers that week right there, man. Got to watch these Cardinals, man. I see these guys showing up on just about every week, man, for these defensive and offensive players of the week. So got to keep an eye on them. Like I said earlier. Man. Go doing this thing over there in Arizona, man. Let me find out, man. I'll be in your DM to see what's going on over there. Yeah, moving on to the AFC, we got Mr. Patrick Mahomes, quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Went off for 17 for 25, 220 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Now, the only thing that's hurting this young man, he got sacked 7 times. That's bad. Wow. That's real bad for a young quarterback to be getting hit that much. Listen, when them defensive linemen, them linebackers are getting them shots off on you, it takes a toll on your body, mentally and physically. Especially for this young guy to be so young, you don't want that affecting his career early on. But,
I played against him, and he's dangerous. That man got a cannon for an arm. Like, he stuffs the ball in there, picks his
Right.
target, and shoots it out. Like he's one of those guys,
Yeah.
man, that especially could balance all those weapons out there in Kansas City. You know, he's dangerous. He's dangerous. But if you can get after him, you can slow him down, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he really may need to look at getting some offensive line help for that young quarterback right there. Great young quarterback, bright future, man. You see what happened to Garoppolo, got put out for the season, man. So we got to protect these quarterbacks, man. But crazy game right there for the young man. All right, moving on to NFC Defensive Player of the Week. For Week 8 is my man LaMarcus Joyner, L.A. Rams. 2 tackles, 4 interceptions. Not a crazy stat line. We did get the win, 27-24. My bad, 21-19 over the Green Bay Packers, man. So close game right there. We pulled it out, but those 4 picks did help.
Moving on to the AFC, making the second appearance, we have Emmanuel Agba. Listen, this guy, like, he is what he say he is, man. He is a guy that requires the attention of anybody that he is playing against. I'm telling you that right now. We got guys like Khalil Mack. We got Aaron Donald. We got those dominant guys. Clowney, J.J. Watt. This guy right here, this young man right here, is telling the DML right now, he's here, and he's here to fuck shit up. 6 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. This guy right here, I'm telling you right now, game plan from, because that's the guy that I'm telling you right now is going to tear your quarterback up down after down after down if you give him a chance to.
Yeah, man. That guy's gotten better each year in the league, man. But anyway, all right, y'all. That's a recap of weeks 1 through 8, and we'll be back in the off season to do a recap of weeks 9 through 17. And we'll also recognize the award winners for the 2019 season of the Dynasty. I want to give a shout out to Nasty Newt, the commissioner, and every user in the DML. I'm King Vitamin, and with me I got the OG Chris Murray, and we're going to be signing out. And thanks for tuning in. This is the recap.